Good morning. So I had a few messages sent to me about my biscuit short. Theirs did not turn out as perfect as mine, so I thought I would take a few minutes and do a step-by-step on my biscuits this lovely, cool morning. So let's go make some biscuits. All right, ingredients. You need all-purpose flour, unsalted butter, buttermilk, salt, and baking powder. I use kosher salt because I like it, not because Alton Brown told me it's the best, but I like that I can see the flakes. So when I'm salting meats and things, I can actually see where I'm covering. You can't really see that with iodized salt. And I get to do the little sprinkle when I'm doing stuff. It makes me feel more like a real chef. If you do not have all-purpose flour and you're using a self-rising flour, then you just omit the baking powder and the salt. If you only have salted butter and not unsalted butter, then you cut the salt ingredients down by half when we mix everything together. But first off, we're going to preheat our oven to 450 degrees and put this bad boy in the freezer for about 5 minutes. Now, PSA on the flour. My wife was believing that she was gluten sensitive, which she may be to a degree, but it just kind of seemed to come on all of a sudden. And I was doing a little research and I found out that flour, at least in the United States, they put an enzyme in it to help it be shelf stable. So I started researching and looking, and if you get organic flour, on its ingredients it says organic wheat flour. It contains wheat, but it does not have an enzyme. I did compare it to other bags in the store, and the other bags do say enzymes in them. Since I've swapped to this, my wife has no longer had any tummy troubles after eating biscuits. All right, let's get on it. First, 2 cups of flour. 1 teaspoon of salt. And 1 tablespoon of ye old baking powder. Take my handy mixing fork, do a little tossy, get it all kind of incorporated. And now it's time for the butter. All right, so to the unsalted butter, we put it in the freezer so that it holds up a little bit more. We don't want it melted yet. We're using it as a medium to hold everything together. You can use vegetable shortening if you're going to use like Crisco or something like that, 1/4 cup. Otherwise, 6 tablespoons of butter, which these are, they have little lines on the packages to let you know how many tablespoons. So I just put my thumb at the 2 mark, fold it back, and start shredding. Sometimes I struggle a little. So with the butter, we dump it straight into our flour mixture. Don't want to let any of that deliciousness go away. Like I said, if you use salted butter instead of unsalted, you would cut that tablespoon of salt in half. Salt will interact with your rising agents to make your biscuits a little poofier, but it'll also make it a little more bitter. And nobody likes a bitter biscuit. Now, you can have a folding knife, a little pastry looking thing, or you can use 2 forks. You're just gonna fold it in until you have a bunch of little crumbles in your flour. Takes a few minutes. So we got it all mixed in. What you're looking for is kind of like that sand-like texture, okay? It's got little crumbles in it. You don't want any big chunks, and that's what we're going for. Now, for buttermilk, you're gonna need about 1.25 cups. And it really just depends. This is low-fat buttermilk, so I might need a little bit less than if you're using whole buttermilk. And you can also use just regular milk. Regular milk, you're gonna need a little bit less, probably a little over 1 cup, but not much. So you can add a little splashy in if you need to, but what we're going for is a nice formed ball. You don't want it super liquidy, you don't want it super dry. If you got some dry ingredients in the bottom of your bowl when you're mixing, and you haven't put enough milk in. So I did have to put another little splash in, but nice. Everything's incorporated. A little doughy. And in prepared service, a little flour. And push it out of the way. I'm gonna put me a nice little clump right there. I'll show you for that in a minute why. Fold this out. I'm just gonna pat this out like that. Get everything nice and covered. Fan it out till it's about an inch thick. I'm gonna use a biscuit cutter, the old one, woody. You can use a biscuit cutter, you can use a cookie cutter, you can use a juice glass, anything that's round. The important part is get flour on it, or else your biscuit dough will stick up in it. When you cut your biscuits, do not twist. If you twist, it seals the sides and will keep your biscuits from rising. Just push down, back up. You may get little flips like that, not a big deal. And this right here is going to make about 12 biscuits. All right, got those 6 out of the way. I'm just going to roll flat, repeat. And you may have like little geographical things going on with your biscuits right there. Not a big deal. They still go down the same way. You just gotta keep working it towards the end. And your last biscuit will probably need not enough dough for your biscuit cutter. Maybe. Well, it's gonna fall apart if I cut that. So you just kinda, we'll just shape it. And we'll have one biscuit just a little bit bigger than the rest. Now, one of the questions I got was, what did you put on your skillet? A little Crisco. Just give them a little barrier so that it'll help not stick. You don't have to put a lot, just enough that when it melts, you can coat the whole skillet. I'm gonna put this in the oven so it'll melt down for just a minute, and then we'll put our biscuits on. All right, our Crisco is melted. Just gonna do a little coating. Boom, all done. And then we're just gonna stack our biscuits. They're not going to expand out very far, so it's okay to have a little bit of closeness in them. They're just going to climb up, not really out. Now you might get less biscuits if you used a glass, just because they'd be bigger, or a cookie cutter because they'd be bigger. This is just like, this was just a reproduction cookie cutter that I bought it when I was in Gatlinburg, maybe 2 years ago, and we use it all the time. So. All right, so now this goes in the oven for about 12 minutes because I'm on cast iron. If you're using a cake pan or a baking sheet, probably around 10 minutes. And what you'll be looking for is this to be browning on top, and when you lift it up, the bottom will be a little bit brown, but not too brown. All right, pulling them out. You're looking at nice golden brown on the top, lightly golden on the bottom, perfect on the inside.